You know that feeling when an app crashes right when you need it most? It's infuriating. Well, imagine you're the developer who built it. That's a constant battle. But what if you could actually build software that was, well, bulletproof? Today, we're diving into one company's incredible quest to do just that. So check this out. This really sets the scene. On one side, you have the front end, the part you see and interact with, running perfectly. Zero errors. On the other side, the back end, the engine running everything, was a total mess, spitting out thousands of errors. This was the reality for a tech company called Uncover. So yeah, let's really dig into this tale of two code bases, because the difference between the two was causing some serious headaches for the team. I mean, this quote from their chief design officer says it all, doesn't it? It wasn't just about lines of code. It was about the constant stress of a system that was always on the verge of breaking. While their users were having a great experience, the engineers were behind the scenes just fighting fires day in and day out. And the stakes here were incredibly high. Uncover's whole business is built on providing these super fast, real-time insights. Their query engine had to be rock solid. There was absolutely no room for error. Any glitch, any crash, and they lose trust and money. So something had to give. They couldn't keep going like this. They set out on a search for a new foundation for their back end, something that would give them the same peace of mind they had with their front end. And their goal was pretty straightforward, at least in theory. They wanted that it just works feeling they got from their front end language, which is called Elm. Now, Elm is kind of famous for its compiler, which is like having this incredibly smart assistant that catches your mistakes before the code ever goes live. So their whole search became about finding an Elm for the back end, and that's what led them to a language called Gleam. And here's where the story gets really interesting. They didn't chase the newest, flashiest trend. Nope. They picked something they themselves called boringly reliable. I absolutely love this quote. It just flips the script on what we usually value in tech. In an industry that's obsessed with the next big thing, these guys chose stability over hype. They figured out that for the systems that really matter, boring is a feature. Boring means it's predictable. Boring means it works. Okay, so what makes boring so great? Well, first off, just like Elm, Gleam catches errors before they can ever cause a problem. It also plugs right into their existing code, which is a massive win. Plus, the language itself is simple, so it's easy to get new developers up to speed. But the real secret weapon is what it's built on. And that foundation is something called the beam. Think of it like a car engine that's been perfected over decades for maximum reliability. The beam is like that, but for software. It's the same technology that's been running global telephone networks since the 1980s. The kinds of systems that absolutely cannot fail. Gleam gets to stand on the shoulders of that giant. So they made their choice. They rewrote their backend using this boring language. And the results? Well, they were anything but boring. 0. That's it. That's the number of times their new Gleam code has crashed in production. They went from literally thousands of errors to complete and total silence. The system just works. Now, that doesn't mean the code is perfect, right? But the bugs they find now are minor things. A small mistake in the business logic, not the kind of catastrophic failure that would bring the whole system down. For the developers who had been fighting fires for so long, this was, as they put it, a breath of fresh air. And the benefits just kept stacking up. Take a look at this. This chart shows how fast their automated tests run. The old system could handle about 40 tests a second. The new Gleam backend, it flies through almost 2,000 tests per second. That's an insane jump in productivity. Yeah, to put that into perspective, their tests now run 50 times faster. That is a game-changing speedup that lets them build and ship new features so much more confidently. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. What does this one company's story mean for the rest of us? Well, I think it points to a really important trend happening in tech right now. People are starting to care about reliability again. And here's where it gets even more exciting for the future. Gleam isn't limited to just the back end. It can actually run right in the web browser too. And that opens up a whole new world of possibilities. I mean, just imagine it. A world where you write your most critical code just once, and it runs everywhere, on your servers, in your user's browser, everywhere. That's what Gleam is pointing towards. A future with unified code bases, which means more consistency and way fewer bugs. So it kind of makes you wonder, right? In an industry that's always chasing the next new thing, maybe the most radical, most innovative thing we can do is just focus on making things that actually work and work reliably. Maybe the most revolutionary idea of all is to build software that is, in the best way possible, just plain boring.